What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN. I have the pleasure to speak with UFC interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje, who, unless you've been living under a rock, you know he's going to be fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 254. We're about a month away, Justin. Wanted to speak to you now, so we didn't have to bug you as the fight gets closer. How are you feeling a month out from this fight?
I feel great. Biggest opportunity of my life, man. I've been putting work in for 8 weeks now, so my body feels great. Sore, tired, but I feel great.
Yeah, I mean, I got to imagine that it's kind of a combination of like the best time and the worst time in your life, because you're preparing for the biggest fight of your life. But the training camp, and all your training camps are hard. But is this one like, does it feel harder just because you know what type of fight Khabib normally brings?
Yeah, I would say so. I think the pressure is always something that we deal with as fighters. I think it's what makes or breaks most of us. That pressure of going out there and performing. So yeah, I mean, getting up every morning and knowing that fighting Khabib definitely lights a fire under my ass, makes me push myself a little more, which in turn makes my body a little more tired. So yeah, it's been grueling, but it's been great. We're at a very similar place to where I was when they called me to fight Tony right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do a lot of the same things I did that time and try to be perfect.
Is that really what it feels like? You wake up in the morning and your first thought is Khabib Nurmagomedov? Is that how it is?
No, it's not. It's not him, but it is the opportunity that is ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure's on me. It's always you versus you. That's
Mm-hmm.
something I always say. So yeah, I really just need to get up and make sure again work harder than yesterday. Make better choices, be more consistent.
Is it like that feeling that I think, we watch a lot of movies in this culture, and it's like, does it feel like this is what my entire life has been building to? Like we are at like the end part of the movie here. Like, is that what it feels like when you're living it?
I mean, so I guess probably, but I can never look at it like that. Like this is really, I wouldn't say the end. This is once I can get this title, I mean, you know, being a defending champion is more important to me than a lot of things. So that would be huge. So this wouldn't be the last step. That would be
Yeah.
this close to the last step though.
Well, this would be the end of the first movie, and then the sequel is defending the championship, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been crazy. 4 years old. It really is pretty. If I was to sit back and then take it all in, then yeah, this is absolutely the pinnacle of everything that I've been working for my whole life. Not just me, but my parents.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers, my brother, my sisters. They've been on this ride. Not to mention the countless people that I have crossed paths with throughout my life. Whether I wrestled them, beat them, they beat me. They might not remember that they wrestled me. I don't remember 98% of the people that I competed against. So, I wouldn't hold it against them, but I'm sure there's some people out there that competed against me or on a team that I competed against that are on this ride with me. So it's pretty cool. And, when I get that win on October 24th, I know how special of a feeling, I will put into so many people's heart. And, that's special for me. That's definitely something that I'm striving for.
Yeah, and that is what's cool about a situation like this, is a guy who, I mean, you're a veteran of the sport. It's not like you're, 26 and getting your first title shot. It's like, do you think that gives you a little bit of a psychological edge that this is like the biggest fight of your life, and he's kind of looking at it as like, well, every fight's the biggest fight of his life, but he is not coming in with that hunger of like, I got everybody who's been coming in and encountered with me over the course of my lifetime has led up to this moment. Do you think it's an advantage?
No, I don't think it's an advantage. That would be like saying once I win the belt, I'll become complacent. I know Khabib is not that person. So for people like me and him, it's really just another fight. That's going to define our legacy, and that's what me and him are both here for.
Yeah. Well, tell us what the camp looks like. Give us an idea of how you are preparing for Khabib. Who did you bring out? What are you doing on a weekly basis between now and the fight?
Yeah, I don't. I didn't bring anybody else, necessarily specifically. I brought one guy out, Rafael Garcia. He fights for Combate. He's 12-0. Short little tank. He's definitely a good guy to have in. But Carrington Banks, Austin Hubbard. Carrington Banks has been definitely one of my main partners. He's super really good at wrestling, really good at wrestling in MMA, which is very different from wrestling. So it's been great look. Very Taiwan Claxton's back in here. He's a lot, I would say, smaller, not as strong as Khabib would ever be, but he's incredibly fast and he's a great wrestler. So, a lot of the upper body lock stuff I'm able to train with him. But a lot of it is running, a lot of running. My legs got to be ready for 25 minutes of wrestling. I wrestle, twice a week. I got my coach Ben Charrington coming in. I was having Ryan Deacon, who's one of the best wrestlers in the country, moving back to school now. So I got Carrington Banks, Taiwan Claxton, Archie Colgan, just three. Banks likes to say he's the same age as me, but he gets up and down like he's in his 20s still. So I call him a kid. Yeah. Just three kids really, trading in and out on me. They get a break, I get no break. I hate it, but it's only an hour, so I push it on Thursdays. Thursdays is the really tough one. I spar Tuesday, Friday. Got strength conditioning with Landau on Monday, Wednesday. Try to golf at least once during the week. And then a lot of running. Red Rocks on Saturday, sprints on Tuesday after sparring.
Yep.
A lot of eating the right things, coming home, playing video games, staying off my feet. A lot of those things. It's only 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm not training more than 3 hours a day like I ever have. I got to be the perfect me. So that's what I do.
That wrestling work that you're doing, I mean, obviously it sounds like the intensity level is off the charts and you're facing, younger guys and they're coming in fresh and you're working yourself to exhaustion. Do you feel like it's similar to like the style? Like what's different between the wrestling that you're facing on a daily basis here? And do you feel like you have an idea of exactly what Khabib is going to feel like, or is that just like a big unknown to you at this point going into the fight?
I've wrestled my whole life. I've wrestled a lot of different type of people. He's going to be incredibly strong. Similar to like when Ryan Deacon would grab me, and I couldn't get away. But, it's we're fighting at a much different range than what you wrestle at. And in order to get your hands on me, you have to extend yourself. And I get to punch you now and kick you and knee you. So I get to cause damage, that I couldn't cause against people that were, more technically sound than me. I think he'll be more technically sound in certain areas. I think when he gets on top, I will have an extremely hard time getting back up because, the way that he carries his weight, the way he covers you, he's not necessarily working like super hard. He's just constantly making you readjust, so that you can't ever get up. You just got to readjust your base, much less get up. I think I've been preparing for this my whole life. I think I've felt what he's going to feel like multiple times. And a lot of those times I was not able to come out on top. But again, I didn't get to punch those people. I didn't get to knee those people. And I didn't have the ability to, in wrestling, you move forward and you constantly are engaging. Now it's a different game. It's a different game we're playing. I'm constantly I'm constantly at a distance that, you feel you can shoot, but it's right away when you make that commitment. You understand that I'm not there. And so I'm really counting on that. I'm really counting on him. Everybody says that he's never faced what you faced, but if you go back to some of my fights and you watch why I was so, I guess, effective versus Donald Cerrone or Edson Barboza, even James Vick, and certainly against Ferguson, that my ability with my feet to control distance is second to none. And, you've never really seen it. It's not even being analyzed because it's not something that has ever been used as a method, I guess. But Trevor's been working with me on this, on how to use my feet to get to a certain distance and stay off the fence. Never going straight backwards, always moving to the side, constantly shifting and changing levels to make them reset so I can move one way or the other. I have to stay off the fence. If I'm on the fence, then I lost. Yeah. But if I have a really, really good belief that he's going to have a really hard time to put me on the fence, and I know I'm going to see his blood. So I want him to see his blood, and I want to see his reaction.
What do you guess his reaction? What do you think his reaction will be? I'm putting you on the spot here, but what do you think? How do you think he'll react?
I don't know. I don't think he's as crazy as me. That's the thing. I think he's crazy, and I think he loves competition, but I don't think he's quite as crazy as me. And he hasn't seen his blood very many times, I'm sure. You know, his style of fighting is not something where you are looking for blood, you know, or anything like that. It's never even. I bet that doesn't even cross his mind whether he's going to see his own blood or not see his own blood. You know, like that's never been a factor for him. I remember getting cut, and I remember my specific thought first time I got caught was like, holy, I feel like an ice cube just slid off my, like, just how, you know, there was absolutely not a sense of pain or anything. Yeah. And then I felt something drip down my face. I thought it was sweat. And I enjoyed it. I remember my coaches were freaking out, and I was laying down, and I was like, how bad is it? And, you know, they all remember that story specifically. And I remember that too. You know, they're like, get up. And I was like, give me a second. You know, I'm dead ass tired right now. So, you know, I don't think he's as crazy as me, and I'm not sure what it'll be, but I'm pretty sure he's going to freak out a little bit.
Huh. Yeah, I bet Trevor is having the time of his life right now. Just knowing Trevor and being able to game plan for a guy who's undefeated. And, you know, his big thing is that he likes to watch people chase their dreams. And this is obviously like a dream chasing fight for you. I mean, yeah. How has Trevor been in the camp, and has, you know, he's kind of known, I mean, your guys is like, you'll have a 5-second conversation in between rounds and people go crazy about it because it's such a great conversation. What kind of conversations you having during this camp, you know, leading up to this fight?
So, you know, like a lot of everything you see in the cage, you know, of us talking like that, like we don't have, you know, we have that. I always have that respect for him. He always has that respect for me, but we don't necessarily have those conversations. Like that was the first time we ever had those conversations. And that's, you know, that will be the last time until the next fight. No. We don't I don't do a lot of analyzing. I don't analyze what he's teaching me. I don't analyze, you know, his methods, because for me, since I was 4, it's been just to show up and put the work in and listen to the people that I'm supposed to listen to. And he's that person right now. So, you know, since day one, you know, this is a dream making opportunity for me, but for him too, you know, like what he's been able to accomplish with me is pretty special. You know, a lot of people, when I win this belt, you know, it will be almost unfathomable to, you know, you'll go back 2 years, you know, in the past and tell people that this is occurring, you know, and it's almost, they would not be able to believe it because, you know, for one, the method to my madness was not what it is now. And, you know, I never knew that Trevor was going to be so effective. So, yeah, I mean, it is crazy to see, you know, when it's all done, every time I fight, I come home and I watch it. I go back and I think of what we worked on and how it kind of transpired in the fight and how it came to fruition. But I've never thought about it before. You know, we're not having these conversations right now. It's just, he's showing me, I don't even know what he's showing me. He just teaches, you know, we're working on something. I know that we're working on something. And I know that it's bringing a lot of danger to a specific area, you know, that people have to enter to take me down. So, yeah, he's a genius, and I can't wait to put in the work.
You know, when I look at this fight, and I think a lot of people are going to be saying this as it comes up, is that, you know, Justin is one of, if not the best wrestlers that Khabib has ever faced. And, you know, Khabib does have to be careful when he gets inside, like he can't get clipped. But one thing that I don't think I've seen a lot of people talk about yet is how comfortable is Justin off his back? If Khabib is able to take him down, then what does it look like? And I gotta be honest, I don't really know the answer to that, because have you ever really been forced to fight off your back? I'm trying to think back over the course of your career, and it's just something we haven't seen a whole lot of. So I guess, how much have you been forced to do it? And is that something that you're looking at? Because obviously if you're fighting Khabib, you want to be comfortable if he does, in the event that he does take you down.
Yeah. Since I was 4 years old, I can promise you that the only thing that I have strived for every day is to never be held down on my back. You know, as a wrestler, you can't even rest on your back. You know, if you were resting and laying on your back, you know, it was 50 push-ups. Every single time your back touched the mat, 50 push-ups. I've been working for this my whole life. You know, he's never faced a wrestler like me. He's also never faced somebody that's been working as hard or as long as he has. You know, there's not a, you know, he hasn't. There's no possible way he's worked harder or longer than me because we're the same age. You know, he could. I'm sure it's the same, but it's not more. And you know, I'm very confident in that regard. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm not great off my back. No wrestler's great off their back because we don't go there. I'm planning and counting on him not being able to get me there.
You know, when you're going through these tough days in camp, how much does the money motivate you? I mean, I know you're fighting for glory, you're fighting to be a lightweight champion, you're fighting for your family, you're fighting for all of that. But do you think about the money? Do you think about like this is an opportunity to change your life in terms of that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so you know, with my family, with my life, with everything, you know, there's different kinds of wealth, you know, and with a win here, you know, I have a very good opportunity. You know, you say generational wealth. It wouldn't be necessarily generational wealth, but you know, it'd be a generation worth of wealth.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something. As soon as I win, I'm going to get on the mic. You know, my mom, whether I win or lose, I'm going to have my mom call her boss and tell her she's retiring. She's got 2 years left. I think she loses like 2% if she retires right now. So I'm, you know, most certainly going to supplement that. So whether I win or lose, I get to do that. I'm very happy and proud of that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, you know. I guess I was. I'm more aware now than I was when I fought Tony of what would transpire if I won there.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I didn't think of having that opportunity, and then I did not think I would win, but I never think I'm going to win. You know, I always think that I'm going to have a great fight, you know, and try my best.
Yeah.
And, yeah, when I won that fight, that set this up. So that was huge. And this would be tenfold.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be naive of us to think that, like, you know, you guys as athletes, we want you to be competitive. We want you to just go in there and fight and not think about the money. But it's like any of us, and whatever we do for a livelihood, we're thinking about like, oh, I could get a raise here, I could get a raise here. If you beat Khabib, you're the lightweight champion. You're coming off of a win against an undefeated guy who looked invincible, and you're holding something that Conor McGregor, the biggest star in the sport, really wants. I've heard you say that you have 2 fights left on your contract, so you'd be sitting in that situation with 1 fight left on your deal. I mean, if you win this fight, what do you think the difference is financially, just for the rest of your life, between a win and a loss in this fight?
I mean, I mean, that's a lot of pressure to think about, but it's huge, man. It really is. It's, you know, huge. You know, not just, you know, there's a certain amount of money I think one needs to attain in order to have the opportunity to grow exponentially, you know, financially. And I think a win over Khabib gives me that. And, you know, if I make the right decisions after that, that's, you know, a lot of different factors. But I do think win here, even now, you know, I've done pretty good. If I die tomorrow, or hopefully not tomorrow, if I die on October 27th, you know, I will have already fought. You know, my parents, you know, would get, you know, a couple mil. So I would be super happy about that. You know, be heartbroken for them because they don't want to lose a son early. But, you know, like, you know, I don't have kids. So right now, like, this is pretty cool. I feel pretty accomplished with that. You know, I would be happy with just that. So.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That's awesome that you're paying for your mother's retirement on October 24th. That has got to be a great feeling. Postal Service, right? That's where she works?
Yeah. I'm trying to get her. I want her to go. I want her to do the election because we need that. But she's got to go before Christmas, dude. They're killing her.
Yeah. I remember after you beat Tony, you know, one of the big storylines was that Conor wanted to fight you, and you said, absolutely not. I'm fighting Khabib next. But I did want to ask you, like, did it ever come to a head where, like, you actually had to turn that fight down? Like, was there a moment where the UFC was like, hey, we'll put this fight together, or did you just so quickly put it out there that you didn't want it, that it never really?
I think it was the latter. I think it was there. Like, if there was any sort of interest on my part, I think, you know, they would have tried to make it. But yeah, financially, you know, this, you know, it's a big gamble. It's a lot more risky. But, you know, this is the goal to you know, a lot of wealth. Not just wealth, which is not the most important. The legacy, you know, that's what I'm most excited for this opportunity. You know, I've watched this sport for a long time. I went, from Tito Ortiz, when Tito Ortiz was freaking champion back in the early 2000s. Chuck Liddell was coming through, Randy Couture, all those guys. I truly think that if I could beat Khabib and then beat Conor, that I will have cemented like something that is almost unmatched. Even through all those names that I just named, Anderson Silva, I wouldn't have matched his title reign. That title reign is something unmatched, unless you're John Jones, which he surpassed that already. But I don't even know where I was going with that.
But no, in two fights, you can basically kind of match what Anderson did over the course of like 10.
Yeah. But no, I mean, in a different regard, it'll be much bigger. Like Khabib is the number one pound for pound list, and you have to put it in context of me. Coming off those 2 losses, everyone's saying, he's done. Whatever they were saying, it doesn't matter. But the fact that the way I was fighting, we all loved it, but it was absolutely no chance I was ever going to fight for a world title. People would not have bet anything on that, 2 years ago. Nothing. And I knew, Trevor knew, but it'll be a legacy that that I came to cement. The nine bonuses and 7 fights absolutely can be never be matched. So just got inducted to the UNC Hall of Fame where I wrestled.
Oh, congrats!
And working on getting into the UFC Hall of Fame. So it's a big one.
We've been talking about your family a little bit. I assume that your brother will be there in your corner, right?
Yeah, he'll be.
Anybody else? Can anybody make it?
No, I can't get nobody in, dude. It's crazy.
Huh.
I need to just get him some press passes or something.
Yeah. Did you try? You made an effort to get him over there?
I guess. I mean, my manager did.
Yeah.
I should call Dana probably.
There's no dice, huh?
I mean, sitting right next to Dana on stage, and I didn't say anything. My mom was like, "You better say something," and I totally forgot.
Yeah, well, Khabib is kind of known not for having a huge entourage, but he's got his team. He's got his group of guys.
Oh, believe me. I told Ali if I show up and he's got more than 4 guys, that I'm gonna raise serious hell. Because I asked for a camera guy. I was like, "Can I bring a camera guy?" And they're making throwing a over that, over that. Yeah. I'm like, I know this dude's gonna have a entourage, dude, and I'm gonna raise hell. Yeah. Not with him, but with the UFC, I would be not happy.
Well, we still got a month. Make a phone call. Maybe we can get mom and dad over there. Still, we got some time.
I mean, I'm down with following the rules, dude. Yeah. You have your 4, I'll have my 4. I'm cool with it. This is a special moment. My parents have been, right here on the ride the whole time, and it does suck that they cannot be there. But, when I'm fighting, nothing matters. Yeah. But yeah, I will have wished they were there. But again, if he has more people and they were not able to make it, I'm raising hell.
Yeah, which I don't blame you for. Well, we'll get you out of here with this, man, because I know you're busy, and we appreciate the time. When you're standing in that locker room warming up, and you're about to go out and make the walk, and then wait for Khabib to come out and meet you, what do you think will be going through your mind? Like, can you put it into words for us? What it feels like to stand in the locker room right before a title fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov on a fight island? I know you haven't lived it yet, but what do you think you feel like, and what's going to be going through your mind?
So my feeling would be, absolutely foreign to 99.999% of people, on this planet. I know that I will be, incredibly happy. I'll feel like a really dangerous man. There's a special feeling, that I get, and feel whenever I'm about to go fight, and it's, very destructive. I don't know what it is. I try not to touch any of my coaches, because if I do, it's definitely hurting them. Just even warming up, I'll even just throw a leg kick on. Actually, I kicked my coach Ben last time, and I don't know. But man, like the peace, I'm so peaceful, so peaceful. Like it's as if, I guess, I don't know, this is the only place on earth and nothing else is going on outside of this, because nothing matters. Literally nothing. So yeah, it's peaceful. It's very peaceful. Know that no matter what carnage I'm going to, inflict or have inflicted on me, that I just came from a very peaceful place.
Fascinating to listen to, man. I love watching you fight. Love talking to you about fighting. And we'll let you get to practice. Good luck in the rest of your camp, and can't wait for the fight, man. Safe travels.
See if Kamau can get this money. We'll see.
Well, yeah, he's coming out for the $500 body shots, right?
1,000 today. I'm feeling special.
I mean, $1,000. So is he in the room? Are you looking at him? Oh, okay.
No.
I mean, you're offering $1,000 for body shots. Is Kamaru just like for 5 minutes straight? Is he just throwing body shot after body shot after body shot, trying to cash in?
Understand that it's not like it sounds.
Yeah.
You know, when I know what you're gonna do, and when you make it very apparent, you know, at our level, we can do something to not let that happen. Yeah. So really, it's just making them pick the intensity up a little more, which then in turn lets me pick my intensity up. So that's all I'm looking for. Just a trick. They ain't touching my liver. They might break my wrist, but they're not touching my liver.
Well, I'll be looking at Instagram, man, because I'm sure that the $500 would be nice for Kamaru, but I'm sure he'd want the bragging rights more than anything. Huh?
I don't know that guy, dude. He's like my brother, like just a tight ass.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to move to Denver. I'm like, cool. You know, like what price range? And you know, he wants something new and modern by the mountains for like 3 to 5, and I was like, that's never gonna happen. You can live in someone's basement, I guess, but this place is.
Well, there you go, man. Offering the $1,000, he's going to be coming for you today. So.
All right, we'll see.
Thanks, Justin.
Later.